after a man is hit and killed. And a woman believes her friend was intentionally run over. CBS 2's Rachel Kim is live near the scene with the latest. Rachel.
Yeah, Pat, behind me you can see sheriff's investigators have this portion of 35th Street East taped off, and a mobile command post has been set up for this homicide investigation. Investigators say when they got here around 3:30 this afternoon, a man in his late 20s had been intentionally hit by a champagne-colored SUV and pinned up against a house on this street. Now, he later died at a hospital. Witnesses say whoever was driving that SUV took off eastbound and is still on the loose. Right now, detectives are talking to a witness who says she's the victim's friend to see if they can get a description of the driver. I also asked the lieutenant on scene if the victim and suspect knew one another.
They may or may not have. I'm not sure. We're not sure what the motive was or what the altercation was about that caused this incident to happen.
I was in the house and I heard screaming outside, and when I looked out the window, I seen my friend crash into the garage wall, and it looked like he was actually dead by like some guy in the truck.
Anyone with information about this case is asked to call the Sheriff's Department's Homicide Bureau. Reporting live tonight in Palmdale, Rachel Kim, CBS 2 News.
Thanks, Rachel. And breaking news out of North Carolina, where a 3-year-old boy missing for 2 days has been found alive. Casey Hathaway was found tonight stuck in some briars not far from where he went missing in Craven County. Hathaway had been playing outside his grandmother's house Tuesday when he vanished. Heavy rain and cold temperatures made the search difficult. The boy's parents were very emotional tonight as they thanked everyone.
We just want to tell everybody that we're very thankful that you took the time out to come search for Casey and prayed for him. And he's good. He is good. He's up and talking. He's already asked to watch Netflix, so he's good. He is good.
The FBI says Hathaway is in good health and says there's no signs he was abducted. The child was taken to a hospital to be checked out. An Orange County Sheriff's deputy honored as a hero for stopping a man with a knife. But tonight, a federal jury is telling a different story, ruling the deputy used excessive force. And now, the county must pay out hundreds of thousands of dollars. CBS 2's Nicole Comstock is live in Santa Ana with reaction to this controversial ruling. Nicole?
Pat, this certainly is a controversial case here in Orange County, and the question at the center of it, were those deputies' actions heroic or heinous? Well, the answer depends on who you ask. A professional ballroom dancer from the time he was a little boy, Connor Zion's family cherished his talent, his life. It was cut short in a controversial encounter with sheriff's deputies.
A heinous, vicious, brutal act.
That deputy did exactly what he was expected to do when he pinned on that badge.
Dashcam video captured the sound of the first round of gunshots. Connor runs around a patrol car and the deputy fires another round. Then stomps Zion's head 3 times.
The police are not trained to stomp victims into unconsciousness, especially after they've been shot 13 times.
Zion's attorney says he was having a mental health crisis. But deputies say Zion had already cut his mother and roommate with a 12-inch knife, then chased a neighbor around these condos with a knife, before attacking an Orange County Sheriff's deputy, severely wounding him. That's when they say Deputy Michael Higgins fatally shot and stomped him, then helped his colleague. The entire encounter lasted 23 seconds.
The jury had countless hours to deliberate it. We don't have that luxury in law enforcement. We have to make decisions in seconds.
The officer was acting out of anger and not out of any need to enforce public safety.
Deputy Higgins was later awarded the department's Medal of Valor for his actions. But this week, after 6 years of court battles, a federal jury decided Officer Higgins' actions amounted to excessive force, awarding Zion's mother $360,000.
It shows that the police are not above the law.
But the Association of Orange County Deputy Sheriffs contends that deputy went above and beyond to answer his call to duty.
In the department's view and in the community's view, is a hero. He saved the life of the deputy. He saved the lives of countless members of the community.
And attorneys say Zion's mother is still so distraught about losing her son that to this day, 6 years later, she still hasn't looked at that video. Reporting live in Santa Ana, Nicole Comstock, CBS 2 News.
Nicole, thank you. A sinkhole shocker for people in one La Habra neighborhood. A giant crater opened up dangerously close to several condos. The recent heavy rain is being blamed for causing the 80-foot hole. It happened in the 900 block of West Imperial Highway. That's where we find CBS 2's Jeff Nguyen. He's live in La Habra with more on the damage. Jeff.
Pat, let me try my best to give you the full breadth of what happened, because these trees came down when the ground gave way. One of them was wedged against this door for a number of hours today. So crews had to cut it away first to relieve the pressure from the house and then to clear the walkway. Here are some of those logs. And as we walk this way, you can get a sense of just how massive this sinkhole is. It is 80 feet long, 20 feet deep. It leads to an underground tunnel, but more importantly, it sits right by two sets of homes.
The whole house shook, and then it felt like a bunch of cars actually just full on hit the house.
Matt Tucker was at work when he got a call from his wife telling him that the ground in front of their La Habra home gave way and a tree slammed into it. Earlier, workers cut down the old pine trees that had blocked his front door and left a few cracks.
You can see it damaged the rain gutter and barely missed actually going through the window.
The Tuckers were one of 3 households that evacuated voluntarily. They have since gone home.
Oh, I'm just amazed. It's crazy. It's kind of speechless.
People who live at the Coyote Creek condo complex say the 80-foot-long sinkhole collapsed last night onto an underground concrete storm channel where there is graffiti and homeless people have been known to stay. Police brought in cadaver dogs to make sure no one was trapped.
Kind of concerned that it will grow lengthwise.
The city's mayor says the recent rain may have led to the sinkhole that's about 20 feet deep. But for Matt Tucker, the mound of grass that was over the underground channel is where families walked their dogs and his kids often played.
I don't care who it is. I place no blame on anybody. Just we need to get it fixed.
And the cause of the sinkhole is under investigation. We are live in La Habra. Jeff Nguyen, CBS 2 News.
Jeff, thanks. New video of a wild hit and run in Fontana. The security video is quick, but it does show a car crashing into several other cars and a fence. Police say the driver, Angel Torres, hit 3 parked cars and a woman who broke her leg. Torres ran away, but neighbors stopped him and handed him over to police. He was arrested for felony DUI and felony hit and run. The firefighters are still processing the loss of a beloved captain killed in a Santa Clarita car crash. Captain Michael Shepard was off duty when his Jeep rear-ended a Caltrans sweeper truck yesterday. Today, mourners brought flowers to Fire Station 132 in Canyon Country, where he worked. Shepard started working with the LA County Fire Department in 1997 as a mechanic. He joined as a firefighter in 2006 and steadily rose through the ranks to become a captain. Those who knew him say he leaves behind an incredible legacy of service.
I know he was in the Army. He's a veteran. He was in our fire shops as a mechanic, and that wasn't enough. He wanted to be a fireman, so he did that, and he achieved that in his 50s.
The 63-year-old leaves behind a wife, 6 children, and 7 grandchildren. His wife released a statement saying, quote, "It is with grieving hearts that we have lost him, but we are forever grateful for each minute we've spent with him." CNN is reporting tonight that the White House is preparing a draft proclamation for President Trump to declare a national emergency along the southern border. CNN is also reporting that the administration has earmarked $7 billion in potential funds to build the wall. Congress and the White House are still fighting over how to end the government shutdown, which is now in its 35th day. And according to CNN, the draft was updated as recently as last week. You know that music, that means the countdown is on to the Super Bowl. And today, the Rams were back at work getting ready to take on the Pats. CBS 2 Sports Director Jim Hill is here now with more on the practice today.
Pat, between now and the end of the game, there's going to be literally dozens and dozens of stories about Super Bowl 53. And for most of the Ram players, this will be their first Super Bowl appearance. But for the Patriots, it's their 4th in just the last 5 years. Jared Goff became the youngest quarterback ever to win the NFC Championship with that 26-23 come-from-behind victory over the Saints last Sunday. His performance in the Superdome is something that he thinks will help his confidence come Super Sunday.
It's big. I think anytime you can go into an atmosphere like that, go down 13 early, and then show the poise and perseverance and get through adversity the way we did and be able to come out on top late in the game like we did. Just being able to fight through all that. And there was so much against us early on, so much going on that was not going our way. To be able to get through that and come out with a win, it gives you some confidence and gives you something to look back on as a way that you handled some stuff correctly.
I just thought Jared's ability to just be at his best when his best was required. The competitive greatness showed up in a big way. That noise, like we said, that was something that I've never been a part of, and you've been in a lot of atmospheres that, you know, are unbelievably loud. That was something that you have never experienced before. I know Jared and I both felt the same way, and he just kind of handled it, you know, exactly like a veteran. We're very confident in his ability to lead us, you know, knowing that it's a big game like we've said, but I think Jared will be, you know, himself, which is exactly what we want him to be.
Here's a good one for you. Jared Goff was just 7 years old when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl championship back in 2002. We'll have more on what the Rams need to do to slow down Brady and the New England Patriots coming up a little bit later on in sports. Pat?
Boy, Jim, we've watched him grow over just really the last year.
And I'm going to tell you something. This last game, I mean, we saw not only the development, but the maturity and the future of a great quarterback in this league for the Rams for a long, long time.
No question.
Yes.
He said it himself, poise. All right. Thank you, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Well, CBS 2 is your home for the Rams and your home for Super Bowl 53. The Rams and Patriots will play in the Super Bowl in Atlanta on Sunday, February 3rd. And the only place you can watch the game is right here on CBS 2. Well, could they really be taking the free out of freeway? The possible pay-as-you-go plan for local roads that was discussed today. Plus, a dramatic wreck is caught on camera when two semi-trucks crash head-on.
Police say a woman admitted she was looking at her phone when she hit and killed a man at this intersection. Tonight, a plea for drivers to put the phones down.
And an unusual way to beat colds. Would you spend big bucks on a used tissue if it keeps you from getting sick?
Wow, Jared was 7 years old when they first won. Me too. Tempest Fugit, baby. Weather's coming up.
CBS 2 News is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation that excites.